Welcome inside the California Institute for Men at Chino. This is home to convicted felons, many of whom hail from Orange County. It's an impersonal place, even threatening to the uninitiated, and gang activity is alive, even in this strictly disciplined environment. Normal routine at Chino allows prisoners only 10 hours of outside activity each week. That means working out, baseball, and hours of circling the compound under the watchful eyes of the armed guard in the tower. Indoors, inmates are restricted to cell blocks where two men may live in a room the size of a small bathroom. Contact is reduced to shouts from one cell to another, and meals are served directly to the cell to reduce movement in confined spaces.
Fam, what's going on, man? It's your boy, the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast. Today, I'm doing a reaction video of one of the most dangerous prisons in the state of California, Chino. So before we go ahead and check out this video, man, y'all do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and let's go ahead and check out one of the most dangerous prisons in the state of California, Chino. Let's go ahead and check it out, y'all.
Welcome inside the California Institute for Men at Chino. This is home to convicted felons, many of whom hail from Orange County. It's an impersonal place, even threatening to the uninitiated, and gang activity is alive, even in this strictly disciplined environment. Normal routine at Chino allows prisoners only 10 hours of outside activity each week. That means working out, baseball, and hours of circling the compound under the watchful eyes of the armed guard in the tower. Indoors, inmates are restricted to cell blocks where two men may live in a room the size of a small bathroom. Contact is reduced to shouts from one cell to another, and meals are served directly to the cell to reduce movement in confined spaces. Chino was built in 1941 to hold about 2,500 men. Nearly 50 years later, it holds 6,000, 2.5 times its intended capacity.
All right, so first of all, bro, I've never seen a prison to where they got a two-man cell, like cell block, and they got bunk beds in the middle of like the wing. All the convicts watching who did time at Chino recently, is it still like this? And I'm curious to know any convict throughout the nation, bro. If you've been to a prison to where it's like a cell block with two-man cells, but they also got bunk beds in the middle of the wing, I'm curious to know. And if so, let me know what prison and what state, because myself personally, I've never seen that. Let's go ahead and keep watching, y'all.
The overcrowding leads to unnatural stresses.
Of course, the inmates are strained on the fact that they are housed sometimes in day rooms, card rooms, gymnasiums, open dorm settings.
While prison officials recognize that they have far exceeded the capacity of design, they feel their hands are tied by the courts.
We just start taking them in as the courts present them to us.
This may be an immediate solution for keeping criminals off the street, argue criminologists, but they say it does very little in terms of preparing a convict for his return to society.
And I have a feel for how the victims, the hostility they feel, want to punish them, more prisons and so forth. Not doing very much. I feel that hostility too. I'd like to do something to them, but in terms of what it accomplished for society is not very much.
Instead, supporters of this philosophy argue that prisons exist strictly for punishment, and say that doesn't protect society.
No matter what you do, it's not enough because we want to punish them, so more prisons and so forth. So that's another thing you have to handle in society. What are productive ways to go rather than more and more prisons? We need it for vindictiveness, but in terms of reality, it is not producing the effects we want.
Man, y'all go ahead and hit that hype button, bro. At least finally somebody is speaking facts. He's acknowledging, of course, a lot of the victims' families, people in society, they want to punish people who are incarcerated because they want revenge for their victim and their loved ones and things like that. And he understands that. He's like, but it is not benefiting society. He said reality is that more punishment, more prisons is not benefiting society. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish that thought process. Why? Because the people who are sent to prison, the convicts, the criminals, whatever people want to refer to people who are incarcerated as, myself being a convict, and I'm sure all the convicts watching, what is the ultimate priority apart from, of course, keeping society safe, removing the people who've been sentenced to prison away from society, putting them in prison, is they have to experience rehabilitation. That way, when they get out, they, myself, you watching if you're a convict, that we don't continue to live a lifestyle of crime and endangering people in society. That means the number one priority should be what? Programs, rehabilitation, counseling, true empowerment to the incarcerated population. But a lot of people, bro, they can be so hell-bent and so focused on punishment and revenge, they fail to realize that is not helping the bigger problem at hand for society at all. Prison reform, prison rehabilitation has got to be the ultimate priority. And if you disagree, I challenge you. Okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. I'm not knocking you for it. But please explain why. What's your difference of opinion and why? And put it in the comments.
And the Santa Ana police chief agrees that prisons don't work.
It's really a failure, I think. When that's the only recourse you have, then you've failed as a society.
In fact, Paul Walters is willing to send adults to jail, but he says he and his department are now committing much of their combined resource towards keeping people out of the system, beginning when they're teenagers.
What we do is when the first time they get involved is we really support a diversion program. First-time offenders, it's done in Spanish and English. It's called a Short Stop program, and that whole thing is to make them realize what their life's going to be like if they continue.
Short Stop is one of 2 alternative programs that we'll take a look at in our next report about crime and punishment in Orange County. Peter Murphy, the Orange County News Channel.
All right, y'all, man. Again, I'm curious to know, any convicts who have been to Chino, let me know what your experience was like while you were there. I'm pretty sure the prison is still open. I'm pretty sure it's a very well-known prison throughout California. Obviously, if you've been watching this channel, you know I did all 12 years of prison while I was in the state of Florida. I visited 2 prisons in California for prison events. One was San Quentin, the other one was Lancaster. So I've heard about Chino. I don't know much about it. So any convicts who've done time at Chino, please go ahead and put your experiences, your stories in the comments. So look, family, it's your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast. And family, look, I got a fire HBO style series on the full episode playlist. It's a chronological journey of my 12 years in prison. It's called The Incarceration. Season 1 has been out, but season 2 is just now coming out. But to access it, you have to become an all access member to this channel. And this is a preview clip of season 2 right here. All you hear in the cells when people are fighting is just lockers moving, bunks getting hit. You hear the fists, you know what I mean, hitting faces or being blocked, and people wrestling and people getting slammed. And it just sounds like a freaking war going on in a cell because it's such a small, confined space. And you just hear it time and time again. Not just that first day in the dungeon, but every day, all day. About 102 people, I believe, in K3 in the dungeon. I would say probably about 90 people gangbang is affiliated. Everybody in a different set, and all day, every day, fighting, nonstop. And a lot of times, it's not one-on-one. It's a lot of people getting jumped, a lot of 2-on-2s or 3s-on-5s, all day, every day, no exaggeration. When the police see the fighting, majority of the time, they won't even break it up, won't even look, won't even lock down the dorm, just put a blind eye to it and keep on going. Non-stop chaos, all day, every day, no exaggeration. Nothing but yelling, fighting, and occasionally stabbings. One thing I began to realize as well at JIT camp is that people had knives for sure, but they call them fence pokers. Little wire that people unravel off the fence posts, they sharpen it up on the floor, and it becomes a knife. And also, if you didn't know, man, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can find my music wherever you listen to your music at. Go to my artist YouTube channel, E.I. the King, to check out my music videos. Follow me on Instagram, E.I. the King, TikTok, E.I. the King, E.I. the King Official, and family. I got 3 other YouTube channels. My official artist channel, E.I. the King. Go check out my music videos, Real Crime Stories Unlocked, and my newest channel, Low Budget Traveling, where I'm sharing with you, all fellow convicts, everyday average American, that it is possible for you and I to travel abroad internationally on a low budget. All the links are going to be at the end of this video. Go ahead and click those links. It's going to take you to my new channels. Subscribe, follow, check out the content. Is fire. And family, we're on the journey to 100,000 subs. Right now we're at 60K. I appreciate all the day one viewers and day one subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Y'all do me a favor, go ahead and like this video. For all the convicts watching, if you done time in a county jail, state prison, federal prison, you want to share your incarcerated experiences, email me at eithekingbooking eithekingbooking@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram at eitheking_. As I interview you, I'll go ahead and post your interview on this channel. If you got a YouTube channel, social media, whatever you want to promote, I'll allow you to promote it throughout the interview. And y'all go ahead and stay tapped in for more fire content to continue to come your way. It's your boy, E.I. the King, and I'm out. Peace.